which is a mirror to the building we're at right now.
Yeah, those are the top of the atriums, the skylights.
Now we're inside building 5.8 West. This is one of the typical cells. It's typical of the entire city for the troop billets. You can see the large stairway going up to the 3 levels of rooms which surround this large open area. This, the organizational size for this is a company. You can imagine about a platoon and a half fitting on each one of these floors. At the top of this large open area are light wells. We saw those before. They look like sails coming up from the top of a building.
The construction is similar to the BEQs in area 9 and 10 that you saw in the other shots. The inside, that is.
Now once again, this is a company organization which is for about 120 to 150 men. In the background you can see a metal door with grating, and that's the arms room and the ammunition room. To our right are offices. And this is where the company commander, the platoon leaders, the first sergeant, all the offices for company are located in this area. Okay, this room is a typical open bay room for the lowest ranking enlisted members. You can see there are 8 beds and 8 wall lockers in this area.
10 men, 10 squadron.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10. Okay, before we showed you a room where the lowest ranking enlistment people would stay, this is a room for the non-commissioned officers. And before the privates slept 10 to a room, these men have their own private room. The walls are closed in, and there are only 4 in here with desks and nice chairs for them to sit in. You see Area 1, which is a housing area for enlisted men and the junior officers. You can see the typical houses with the mosque that services the area in the background. In the foreground, you can see one of the pedestrian bridges that services into the centrum. Right behind it, you can see some construction work going on. That's where Dong Ah is putting or making Construction Road B a permanent road.
Ow.
All right, you're now looking into the small detention cell or jail which services this company. This is for the extremely bad soldier. It's really nothing more than a glorified toilet with the bed shoved into it. Nice shot at an Eastern toilet and a shower combination. Okay, we're now looking in the distance at Area 10, which is the Saudi Arabian Brigade, and then slowly moving to our right, the troop billet buildings for Area 9. Okay, we're now in the theater, the lecture hall, that services Building 5.8 West. This is located in the middle of the 2 halves of the building. Below us is the pedestrian walkway that leads from the centrum to Area 9. If you listen closely, you can hear prayer call in the background. Okay, now here we are in the central part of the centrum. We're standing to the north of building 5.7 and looking from our left to our right. First, the Friday Mosque to our left with its arcade and minaret. Behind that, you can see the buildings of 4.2 west, which are the Bachelor officers' quarters. On the right-hand side in the background, you can see the officers' club. And then to our right, building 6.1, which is the theater, commissary, retail area. Now we're looking down the distance, the south face of building 6.1, and at 5.7 east. We are now in the theater lecture hall, which makes up the difference between 5.7 west and center. When the two wings bend, we are between the dogleg in the middle. What this room will be is a lecture hall for the troops. They can have the chairs up on each of these levels, sitting down, facing the chalkboard or a movie screen in the front. So there you are at the top of the lecture hall, as I would give my 3 feet or whatever on this blackboard. Here you are in 5.7 west. This building is large enough to accommodate the troops for 2 company-sized organizations. The entire building is organized around the central court with its central stair going up to 3 floors of living space. The offices for the 2 companies, the arms rooms, and other classrooms are on the lowest level here. Once again, the light for the area over the atrium is provided by these skylights, which are similar throughout the city. Okay, we are in the third level of building 5.7 west, looking out at the Friday Mosque, the Central Arcade, the headquarters building behind it, to the right, building 6.1, the theater and commissary, and back to the left, the officers' club and visiting officers' quarters. Okay, we're up on the roof now, 5.7 west. Once again, you can see the Friday Mosque in our background, and then sweeping to the right, 4.2 west, 4.2 center in the background. In the foreground, the officers' club and the visiting officers' quarters. The arcade in front of that with the central fountain below it. Building 3.1 is where you see those arches with all the curtains. And between us and that is building 6.1, the theater and commissary. Going farther to the right, 5.7 east and center.
I'm going to pan toward the water tower 15S.
See the water tower in the background, and the housing area behind that is 15S for the hospital. I'm standing on one of the skylights that lights all the area that we saw earlier, the atrium for this building, 5.7. Just to give you an idea of the size of the skylight and its shape as it sweeps up in a half circle over the top.
very, very clear day today. With a naked eye, you could see perfect, way into the distance. Yeah. I don't know how clear you're going to see it on the film, but when you look at it, it's terrific. Okay, talk.
We're now looking into the fountain that is bordered by 5.7, which we are shooting the picture from on top of, 5.4, which is in front of you, and to the sides. 8.1 is the large building.
Yeah.
8.1 is the large building that stretches from left to right behind 5.4, and then spreading out in the distance is Area 10, which houses the Saudi Brigade of Troops. Oh, look, they're marching to the left now. So we pan to the left, you can see Area 11, which was never constructed, is now an open area, and you can see Saudi troops drilling in the distance. In the far distance, you can see the DC compound with its checkered water towers, and in front of that, oil storage tanks. Okay, we're on 5-7 east, looking west toward the Friday Mosque. You're looking over the roof of 6.1. It's 2 mechanical penthouses. You're moving to the north. You can see 4.2 in the background. 4.1, 4.3, which is the officers' club, and then 3.1, where the curtains are, the command headquarters for the area command. Okay, you're now looking into the central fountain, and as you can see, one of the L pools, the sprays are on. They're doing mechanical testing now. Enlisted men's apartments. Now you can see the balcony areas which have been blocked in by plywood to create more living space and privacy for them. Going to the right, you can see a playground center for the children, which would have been housed in areas 6 and 7, which were deleted from the project. Going farther to the right, you can see the water tower and the housing area to support the hospital, which is the building with the red pieces in its side there. Moving out in the distance, the east-west spine road. Going out eastward to the main gate and the VIP villa. Okay, once again, you're looking at building 2.1, the Friday Mosque, and in front of that, the central arcade, you can see the fountains and the L pools are on right now. Behind the L pool, you can see the large main stair that will take you from the central fountain up to the Friday Mosque. Okay, you're looking at the building 3.1, the area command headquarters building.
Would not say what force is needed to break.
Okay, you're looking at the building 3.1, the area command headquarters building, and moving in a westerly direction. now looking at 5.8 East, and in particular you can see the dining hall down below that plaza area with the pavers on top. The dining hall opens out into a lower open plaza which has these two basketball courts, and large set of stairs which can double as spectator seating. We're right now on the axis towards the center of 5.8 East. This building will house a battalion-sized element. 3 companies to the one half of the building will house the equivalent of 3 companies, and 3 companies to the other side. Okay, this is the central fountain with the L pools around the outside of it. You can see the fountains are on now. And the arcade which wraps around it and is bordered by the 4 most important buildings of the centrum. You can see the center fountain, which itself is not on right now. And then moving over the other 2 L pools and building 3-1, which is the area headquarters building. Okay. We're now in the main banking hall in building 6.1, which is on the south side of the centrum in King Khalid Military City. Looking around you, you have a 2-story hall with the teller stations to the rear, and then to our sides we have the offices for the people who will run the facility.
You are now on the stage of the main theater for all of King Khalid Military City. You're looking out at 980 seats, about 200 of which are up on the upper balcony. The theater is designed for many different purposes. You can see films here, you can put on plays, any kind of performances or shows, and later you'll see there's a conference table set up on the main stage, and the thought being that there will be many meetings, conferences done here.
We keep moving to our left. You see the green tiled building. That's building 5.7. It's where the troops will be housed who will run the area command. And then another entrance to the east-west spine road, the inner centrum road, which circles the centrum. Keep moving to our left, and building 5.8 east, which would house a support battalion for the area command.
You're looking at the stair leading from the plaza in front of 3.1 toward 4.2 west. The skewed stair. Four 143 in the background, the officers' VIP club and motel. And way in the background, the steps leading from the fountain area up to the Mosque plaza.
Okay, we're now in the main reception area for the headquarters building. We're at the plaza level. Behind me, the elevator racks that will lead all the way down to the command headquarters, all the way up to the 2nd floor. To my right, you can see the Friday Mosque in the background. And then farther to your left, the main set of stairs lobby on the first floor of the headquarters building. The general and his staff and people are upstairs on the second floor. This is where the area command support companies and battalions would have their liaison people. You're looking around through the lobby. You can see the use of glass throughout the building is incredible. All the walls are 25 millimeter plate glass. Okay, we're looking down into the atrium of building 3-1. You can see the pavers down on that upper level, and then moving upwards into the first level lobby, and then the second level lobby, which looks down into the first. Once again, you can notice the preponderance of glass used throughout the building. You're now in the area commander's headquarters, and if I had the correct uniform on, there would be 2 stars on the front of this helmet instead of this little cheap silver bar. The room is very large. It was going to be the main conference room, but the general has moved the furniture out of here and claimed the space for his own. So this is his desk and chairs and credenza, and there's not much left in the room. He'll furnish it himself. You're now in the general's office on the second floor, and you can see the view that he has outside his window. You're now in what was the personnel office on the second floor of the area, or the headquarters building, but since the general took over the conference room behind us, they made this into the new conference room. This is a new table that the Saudis had put in themselves. You're now standing in front of Building 6-1, the theater commissary, looking on axis at Building 4143, which is the officers' club and the visiting officers' quarters, the VIP motel. If you look at the building, it occupies the north side of the central fountain area here. The building itself is divided into two pieces horizontally. This plaza level is the dividing line. Down low you have the officers' club, and above that, the visiting officers' quarters. You are now in building 4143 on the third floor of the part of the building which is the visiting officers' quarters. Now, as you can see, the building itself is arranged around an atrium with skylights above, and the rooms are surrounding that atrium space. On the lower level, on the very lowest level, is the officers' club, which spreads in the far direction and then underneath us. Above that, on the upper level, are more reception and office areas for the officers' club. From that point on, when you get on these pink staircases and start rising up, you're into the officers, the visiting officers' hotel, VIP motel is what they call it. And here you're looking at the skylights that top this entire area. Okay, you're now in one of the best rooms in the visiting officers' quarters. There are, 12 rooms exactly like this throughout the building. This main area, the living room, sitting room, about 20 by 30 foot, quite nice and large with furniture. The double balcony looking out onto the central pool, and you can see the mosque out in the background. Just looking into a typical toilet in the building 4143 again, one of the things that you will notice throughout the centrum, all the bathrooms are equipped with bidets. Okay, this is neither a microphone nor a hubbly bubbly, but for those of you who are not really familiar with how the Middle Easterners clean up after themselves after using a loo, they don't use toilet paper. And they use this little spray nozzle to invigorate their backsides. That's how it's done. You're looking past the living room in this VIP motel and into the bedroom area. Got a little kitchen nook off to the side, the master bed back here, a little bookshelf area, and then another toilet. And of course another complimentary view of Building 2-1, which is the Friday Mosque. Okay, you're now looking at the bedroom area of this VIP or hotel room. One of the neat things about working on this project with an unlimited budget, as they seem to have had, was coming upon furniture that you've never quite seen anything like it before in your life. And this is a good example. I've never seen a piece of furniture or a bed that had a leather casing like this, and little leather stools where you can have a seat, and if you particularly want to either play catch with your light or move it around for a better angle while you read at night, you can do that. You can see a folding door. This door separates this room when closed from the central Majlis area. Panning across the room, you can see in the background a library with shelves for books. Beyond that, where the orange seats are, is a listening area for music or listening to music. And then in the middle area, scattered throughout, you can see pool tables. Looking at the end wall, which is all glass, it leads out onto a small pool. It's about 12.5 meters square. And in the very background, which we'll show you later, a locker room for that pool.
And a hot tub, too.
And a hot tub. Once again, we're at the west end of the Officers Club. Here we have a snack bar. The entire bar itself, the half circle, is made out of granite. Other areas within this room, we've got tables for people to sit around and talk, various couches, and 8 pool tables. The pool outside the west end on the lower level of Building 4.1, the Officers Club. The pool itself is only about 12.5 meters square, not really long enough to do any serious swimming, but definitely nice to cool off in during the summers here. You're moving around. Behind that black screen in the background there are locker rooms for those who are going to use the pool. And moving further, you can see a small, looks like a red tub sunk into the pavers here, and what that is a whirlpool about 8 foot in diameter. Throughout the centrum, you've seen this aluminum grill work, which is used to separate areas and for decoration. How these things are put together is kind of interesting. They come in small segments, units of this size. You can see one unit would fit right about there. And then they're hooked together with small pins. All the units just made together to comprise this entire screen. Locker room for the swimming pool and the whirlpool at the lower level at Building 4.1, the Officers Club. Looking behind, over to our left here, you can see there are rows of lockers and
changing cubicles which line that back wall. In the middle area here is where all the plumbing's been concentrated. And then these cubicles are the showers and toilet areas. Now looking at building 4.2 West, which is the Bachelor Officers' Quarters, you're looking over the wall with the swimming pool here at the Officers' Club and up to the building itself.